So student, in first, second and third lesson, we had seen that European traders first reached Indian shore with the arrival of the Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama in 1498 at the port of Calicut. He was in the search of spice trade. Just over a century later, the Dutch and English established trading outposts on the Indian subcontinent, with the first English trading post set up at Surat in 1630. Over the course of the 17th and early 18th century, the British defeated the Portuguese and Dutch military but remained in conflict with the French, who had by then sought to establish themselves in the subcontinent. The decline of the Mughal Empire in the first half of the 18th century provided the British with the opportunity to establish a firm foothold in Indian politics. So student, this was the starting for the colonialism of Britishers in India. Student, in this chapter we are going to learn following points. 6.1 Struggles before 1857, Freedom struggle of 1857, background of founding the Indian National Congress, founding of the Indian National Congress. Then we will look into moderates and extremists, armed revolutionaries in India, Mahatma Gandhi non-violent resistance movement, and last one 6.8 Quit India movement of 1942. So first we'll start with the first point of our lesson. Struggle before 1857. In 1880, the British East India Company, we know that it took complete charge of India, and specially it took complete charge of Khandesh. The Bhils in the region of Satpura, Satmala and Ajinta united against British. The Bhils were concentrated in the hill ranges of Khandesh in the previous Maratha territory. British occupation on this region in 1880 brought in the outsiders and accompanying dislocations in their community life. A General Bhil's insurrections in 1817-90 was crushed by the British military forces, and though some conciliatory measures were taken to pacify them. Pacify means to warn them. So here the British military forces, they won the Bhils and they again revolted under the leadership of Seva Ram in 1825, and the situation remained unsettled until 1831, when the Ramosi leader Umaji Raje of Purandar was finally captured and executed. Minor revolt again took place in 1836 and 1846 as well. The Bhil's local rivals for power, the Kolis of Ahmednagar district, also challenged the British in 1829, but were quickly subdued by a large army contingent. The seeds of rebellion, however, persisted to erupt again in 1844-46, when a local Koli leader successfully defied the British government for 2 years. So here we can see the Bhils. They were the primitive tribes living in the Western Ghats with their strongholds in Khandesh. They control the mountain pass between the north and the Deccan. Economic distress, famine, and misgovernment led to the uprising against the British in 1817 and 18. The British succeeded in suppressing Bill, rising partially by military action and partially by conciliatory policy adopted by Elphinstone. However, a more serious bill rising in 1890 led to the ravaging of the vast neighboring region. The British used brutal force to subjugate the Bills. Taking the advantages of the British reverse in the Burmese War in 1825, the Bills rose in rebellion against and challenged the British authority in 1831 and later in 1846. So student, the Bills from the region of Satpura, Satmala and Ajinta, they united against the British. Here the Trimbaji Dengale, who was the advisor of Bajirao Peshwa II, he was imprisoned by the British. Somehow he managed to escape from the prison. Under the leadership of the Godaji and Mahippa, nephews of Trimbakji Dengale, the Bhils they revolted against the British. There were near about 8,000 of Bhils participated in the revolt. So when Bhils they participated in the revolt against Britishers, so that time Britishers Captain Briggs he blocked all the supplies coming to the Bhils. At the same time, Elphinstone, a British officer, he adopted the policy of pacifying the Bhils. Pacifying means warn. They warned the Bhils. They were recruited to protect the travelers. And Elphinstone he offered Bhils jobs and pension, as well as the policy of suppressing the Bhils was also continued by the Britishers. Major Morin, who was the British officer, he didn't leave any alternatives for the Bhils but to surrender. Again in 1822, the revolt under the leadership of Harya Bhil was crushed by Captain Robinson. Another revolt of the Bhils in which the thousands of Bhils they were participated, it was crushed by the Lieutenant Quortrum. However, he also stayed among the Bhils and won their confidence. So how he won the confidence of the Bhils? So he tried to bring them in the mainstream of the urban life. He gave them assurance that he will give better life to Bhils. He adopted the measures like declaration of amnesty, land grants, agriculture loans, reprieve from the past crimes and recruitment in army to weaken the oppositions from Bhils. So student, here we can see that he adopted some measures to won the confidence of Bhils. So that time he declared the amnesty. It is an official pardon, it is an official discharge for the people who have been convicted of the political offenses. So if the person has done something wrong in politics, so that time it is the right where they can be released from that offenses. As well as he grant loans, he given the agricultural loan to the people, and he deprived from the past crime. So he gave the warranty that he is going to release the people from their past crimes, and because of that what happened, the Bhils they trusted on him and they shifted to his side. Now, next great personality, it was Hansaji Naik. He ruled the region of the Nanded, and he totally refused to merge his land in Nizam's dominion. On the next hand, he conquered some of the forts from the Nizam. A war was inevitable. Major Pittman, Captain Evans, Captain Taylor, with a regiment of 400 soldiers, joined Nizam for his protection. The war continued for 25 days. In the end, Hansaji he was defeated. In Satara district, the Ramoshi community revolted under the leadership of Chitur Singh, Santaji Naik and Umaji Naik were among the captains heading the Ramoji group. They took the consignment of some moneylenders, and that was in the transit from Pune to Mumbai. In 1824, Umaji Naik he was the person who seized the government treasury at Bhambude. Presently, it is known as Shivaji Nagar in Pune. Both together with their activities made the British desperate. To put an end to their activities, the British government declared an award of Rs 5,000 each for catching Umaji Naik and his mates Bujba, Pandya and Esaji. So in between, Umaji Naik he regularly held the meetings with the people, and he planned further actions to stop it. So that time the British government they order farmers not to offer rebels. Rebels means the person who is in the opposition of government. So not to offer these people any food, cloth, shelter and money. In addition, people they were also threatened with the confiscations of their lands. They also order people to inform the government about Umaji's whereabout if they come to know of it. With the help of 5 companies, Captain Davies of cavalry began chasing Umaji. However, he did not succeed in his task. The rebels were continuously at the war with the British, often changing locations from Satara, Vai, Bhor to Kolhapur. Finally, students, Captain Mokin Stones, he took over the task of capturing Umaji Naik. Umaji Naik gave order to his mates, to his friends to kill the British officers. But Britishers caught Umaji near Bhor in Pune, and Umaji he was presented in the court of Pune, and he was sentenced to death, and he was hanged at Pune. The events in Kolhapur had their impact on Sawantwadi. The people of Sawantwadi had already revolted against the British in 1830 and 1836. In 1838, the British deposed the ruler of Sawantwadi for his failure to maintain law and order in the state, and appointed a European political superintendent to administer the state. The discontented rulers fled to Goa and planned revolt against the British. The British authorities introduced several laws and brought the state under control. In Kolhapur state, there used to be a keeper of fort who was called as Gadkari. A Gadkari was the person who was salarized officer in the Maratha regime. However, the British government took away the authority of the Gadkaris and stopped paying them salary. The first resistance to this decision was raised at Samangan near Kolhapur. Captain Outram arrived with his platoons means military force. He arrived with his military force to bring the Gadkaris under his control. However, in the first run, the rebels were successful in taking charge of Panhala, Pavangad, and Vishalgarh. Later, more equipped army arrived from the Madras, Chennai, and the Gadkaris were forced to surrender. So this was the history of this was a history student before 1857 revolt. Okay, now we are going to move toward the actual freedom struggle of 1857. So student, the revolt of 1857, which was also known as the First War of Independence, it was a prolonged period of armed uprising as well as rebellions in the northern and central India against British occupation of that part of the subcontinent. Small precursors of brewing discontent involving incidences of arson in the cantonment areas began to manifest themselves in January. Later, a large-scale rebellion broke out in May and turned into what may be called a full-fledged war in the affected region. This war brought about the end of the British East India Company's rule in India and led to the direct rule by the British government, which is called as British Raj, of much of the Indian subcontinent for the next 90 years. The issue of greased cartridges and the military grievances has overemphasized as the factor of the revolt of 1857. However, the recent research has proved that the cartridge was neither only the cause nor even more important. In fact, the multiple causes were there behind this revolt, and those causes were like social, religious, political, economic, all it worked together to produce the rebellion. So student, now we are going to discuss with the causes for the revolt of 1857. So first, if we talk about the political causes, so it was the last major extension of the British Indian territory. It took place during the times of Dalhousie. Dalhousie, he announced in 1849 that the successor of Bahadur Shah II would have to leave the Red Fort. The annexation of Baghat and Udaipur were however cancelled and they were restored to their ruling houses. When Dalhousie wanted to apply the doctrine of lapse to Rajputana, he was overruled by the court of directors. Economic causes. British, their rule led to breakdown of the village self-sufficiency, commercialization of agriculture, which burdened the farmers, adoption of free trade, imperialism from 1800, deindustrialization and drain of wealth of all, which led to overall decline of economy. If we talk about the social and religious cause, so the British had abandoned its policy of non-interference in the social religious life of the Indians. Abolitions of Sati 1829, Hindu Widow Remarriages Act, Christian missionaries were allowed to enter India and carry on with their missions. The Religious Disabilities Act of 1850 modified the traditional Hindu law. According to it, the change in religion would not debar a son from inheriting the property of his heathen father. Military causes. So the extension of British dominion in India had adversely affected the service condition of the Sipahi. They were required to serve in area away from their homes without the payment of extra bhatta. An important cause of military discontent was the General Service Enlistment Act 1856, which made it compulsory for the Sipahi to cross the seas whenever required. The Post Office Act of 1854 withdrew the free postage facility for them. Some immediate causes were there, like the cartridge of the new Enfield rifle had a greased paper cover which had to be beaten off before the cartridge was loaded into the rifle. It was said that the greased paper was made up of beef and pig fat. Both the Hindus and the Muslims, they refused to use them, as cow is sacred to Hinduism and the pig is detestable to the Muslim community. So student, all these were the causes for the revolt of 1857. In the month of March of 1857, Mangal Pandey, who was posted in Barakpur cantonment, gave a vent to the rage of Indian soldiers. The British punished him by hanging to death. This accelerated the fury among Indian soldiers. Soon after this, incidents of Indian soldiers in Lucknow cantonment revolted, followed by the revolt of cavalry units in Meerut. Because of this chaotic situation, uh, some Indian soldiers they broke and they started killing British individuals and taking revenge on their families. At times, turning it into the blind massacre, putting houses on fire, and so on. Some of the soldiers they began to march towards Delhi. On 12th May 1857, Delhi was captured and was completely under the control of Indian soldiers. They handed over the reins of uprising to the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah. Bahadur Shah was the last emperor of the Mughal Empire in India. Bahadur Shah, he was the son of Akbar Shah too. He fought the revolt of 1857, which was called as First Independence War of India, with many freedom fighters of leaders such as Rani Lakshmibai, Tatya Tope and Mangal Pandey, against the East India Company and British Army. Bahadur Shah became the Mughal emperor after his father's death on 28 September 1837. Bahadur Shah ruled over a Mughal empire that barely extended beyond Delhi's Red Fort. The East India Company ruled India. The company allowed him a pension. He had no real power in India. After the Indian Rebellion of 1857, the British administration exiled him from Delhi. He was sent to a prison in Rangoon. Rangoon, now it is Yangon, Burma, and he died there. When Delhi it was captured by Indian soldiers, so feeling of dissatisfaction had spread in many places, and the riot was quickly intensified in Ayodhya, Lucknow, and the northwestern province. Very soon, this news spread like a wildfire in Aligarh, Itwa, Mathura, Bareilly, Azamgarh, Faidabad, Kanpur, Jhansi, and Ahmedabad. The Indian soldiers at Jalandhar, Ludhiana, Multan, Sialkot in Punjab actively responded to the uprising. Similar instances took place in places like Gwalior, Indore, Mau, and Sagar in Madhya Pradesh. The uprising reached the Nasirabad cantonment and rest of Rajasthan. This rebellion news it reached to Dhaka, Chittagong and Madariganj presently, which is in Bangladesh, and Bhagalpur in Bihar. In Bihar, the soldiers in Dinapur near Patna, they revolted under the leadership of Kuwar Singh, who was a landlord from the West Bihar. Kuwar Singh also received a good response from the places like Hazaribagh, presently which is in Jharkhand, and Devgarh, Sambalpur in Odisha. Nana Sahib Nana Sahib Peshwa, he was an Indian Peshwa of the Maratha Empire, aristocrat and the fighter, who led the rebellion in Kanpur during 1857 uprising as the adopted son of the exiled Maratha Peshwa Bajirao II. Nana Sahib believed that he was entitled to a pension from East India Company, but the underlying contractual issues are rather murky. The company's refusal to continue the pension after his father's death, as well as what he perceived as high handed policies, compelled him to revolt and seek independence from the company rule in India. He forced the British garrison in Kanpur to surrender, then executed the survivors, gaining control of Kanpur for a few days. He later disappeared after his forces were defeated by a British force that recaptured Kanpur. He went to Nepal Hills in 1859, where he is thought to have died. Tata Tope, his original name is Ramachandra Panduranga. He was a leader of the Indian Mutiny, means First Indian War of Independence. Although he had no formal military training, he was probably the best and most effective of the rebels generals. Tatya Tope, he was the Maratha Brahman in the service of the former Peshwa of the Maratha Confederacy, Bajirao, and of his adopted son Nana Sahib, who was also the prominent in the mutiny. He was present as Nana Sahib massacre of the British colony in Kanpur in early November 1857. He had taken command of the rebel forces of the state of Gwalior and driven General C. A. Wyndham into his entrenchments at Kanpur on November 27. Tatya Tope was defeated by Sir Colin on December 6, but he remained at Kalpi, the scene of his defeat. In March 1858, he moved to the relief of Jhansi, whose Rani Lakshmi Bai was besieged by British forces. Again defeated, he welcomed the escaping Rani at Kalpi and then made a successful dash to Gwalior on June 1st. His forces were broken up on June 19, but he continued resistance as a guerrilla fighter in the jungle until he was betrayed the following April. He was tried and executed at Shivpuri. So student, we are going to stop here today. Next great warriors we are going to continue in the next lecture. Till here, if you have any doubt, any query, so you can ask me, you can drop it in comment box. Let me revise that today we have discussion about um, the era before 1857 revolt and what actually happened in the war of 1857 and the great warriors who fought against the British colonialism. Now in the next lecture we are going to continue with this point. Thank you and have a nice day.